I really felt like being in the program instilled in me that learning about how to lead people is really a lifelong journey. It's not you just take one leadership course and then you know how to do leadership. It's about continuing to understand and grow as a leader, seeking out the opportunities to learn, as well as instilling those ideas into your daily practice, as well as reflecting on how you're doing as a leader and what you need to adjust. When I was in the program, we had many conversations about work-life balance, and so the program really made me think very carefully about how I wanted to, what path I wanted to take, what career I wanted to take in order to be able to have a family. I knew I wanted to have kids, but I knew that I also wanted to have a meaningful career. So having these conversations in the program really helped me to understand how I can do both. And so that's why I ended up choosing to work in a government sector, because it allowed me to have flexibility when I needed it over the years, but then also allowed me to grow in my career. I'm just so thankful for the program, and I'm so glad it's continuing.
So the WLE program, and being a Rose Etzer Fellow, especially one of the first class, kind of instilled in me a responsibility, I think, in my professional career to connect with women in the profession, to try to uplift and find ways to promote women in leadership positions, and to look for opportunities to provide equality in the personal and professional life. So in the WLE program with the Rose Etzer Fellowship, there's the in-class component, and that part of the workshop helped at least talk about issues that we were going to face in the workplace and how to address them when you're eventually going to come in contact with them. So for example, women are perceived differently in how they negotiate or their legal arguments. So in the workshop, we would speak about that, kind of have an understanding of how people perceive you, and then incorporate that to how you're going to get your argument across to someone by knowing that women are perceived differently. So on one side was to try to, how can you tweak how you're presenting your argument. But then what is also instilled in me is the flip of that, is that when I hear other women and their legal arguments and negotiations, I check myself to make sure that I don't have implicit bias on how I perceive them. So I think that was an awareness that was raised in me through the program. And then in the program, there's the fellowship component. And I did my fellowship at the National Women's Law Center. And even though I'm in the bankruptcy, corporate bankruptcy and insolvency areas of law, women's issues have always been important to me, especially now that I have 2 daughters. So and I think the Women's Law Center, a lot of the opportunities and legal issues we're still tackling today. So being in that program, having the awareness, I think has just been instrumental in my professional career in developing as a woman in the area of law. I'm really proud to be a part of this legacy of Rose Etzer Fellows, and I look forward to the next 20 years or more and welcoming more professionals into the fellowship. And I think that we're all very grateful to Professor Paula Monopoli, who had the insight, the foresight to bring this program to the law school. She's done all the hard work and perseverance, and so I think we're all very grateful for her.
Being part of the WLE program, especially the inaugural one, has really helped me with my career in the terms of 2 ways: resiliency, and I always like to say throwing your hat into the ring. So I'll start there. During the WLE program, I really focused in on why women were not in certain leadership roles and why their voices were not being heard as much. And it was really eye-opening. A lot of times it was just a decision or a fear they were not good enough. And so I've always kind of went through the mantra of, I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring. So through my career, I have taken opportunities that normally maybe I wouldn't have done, but thinking back to my experience with the WLE program. It includes a time at the White House where I got to serve as the Vice President's Ethics and Compliance Counsel, or working at the State Department doing high-profile investigations, and even now in my role as the Deputy General Counsel for the United States Agency for International Development's Inspector General, where we do actually oversight right now of Ukraine, what's going on in West Bank, Gaza, and all of the humanitarian assistance and aid that is going to be funneled out there. So I would say that like, being part of the WLE program actually just motivated me to do better and to actually take opportunities maybe I would not normally have taken. Resiliency is another part too. So when I was in law school here at University of Maryland, I was a Marine and looking for my future as a judge advocate. And I became a judge advocate and served everywhere from Quantico, Virginia to Camp Pendleton in California and several years in Okinawa, Japan. I loved being a Marine, still do, you're always a Marine, but I actually broke my hip while I was in Japan stationed, and that ended my career a little earlier than I would want. So resiliency in the sense that I just didn't give up. I got out of the Marine Corps, keep active with, certain aspects of the Corps, but really started using that motivation to see what's next in my career and where is it going to take me, and continue to rise from there. So those are two really strong aspects of what I got from the WLE program.
I think that one of the benefits of the program for me was just thinking about moving forward in my career as a leader, and to be very intentional about that, and not to sort of, just let the wind blow me in whatever direction, but to think about what I wanted out of my career and where I saw myself going, and then to try to make the correct moves to go in that direction. And I think so, to sum it up, like just to really be intentional about the direction I wanted to take my career in. Well, I came to law school as a second career choice. I had been working in a lab for about 10 years after college, and there were many reasons I chose to leave that career, but one of them was because there was no room to grow anywhere. This was going to be my job, and if I stayed in that field, that would be my job forever. And I didn't like that. I didn't like not having the ability to move anywhere or to move up. And so I came to law school having no idea, honestly, what I wanted to do, but I know I wanted opportunity. And, I wanted a career that was meaningful. I didn't want to push papers. I wanted to do something that I thought would be very meaningful in my life, which I have. And I got a little lucky along the way, and I ended up doing what I'm currently doing. It's very important, I think, to cooperate with people, to help people out where you can, particularly when you're new, and to mentor younger women, especially as you grow in your career. I think that that women have made obviously huge strides in the legal profession over the past 20 years since I started, but there's a lot more to do, and strong female leaders are needed. So I hope that the people that are interested in this program really learn as much as they can about how to manage their careers in a way that will help empower them and the rest of the community.